What's up, guys? It's Bag of Bones Jones back here with another video for you all, and kind of piggybacking off the first video of this series, where we're talking about like fitness and kind of like just I guess like mental habit building in general, but particularly in the fitness realm. I want to talk today about consistency because I made a point in the first video that I made where I said something along the lines of consistency is one of the most important things. If it is the most important thing that you can build when trying to make compositional body changes, like lasting and real changes to your body composition. Because I assume that's what most of you are looking for if you're looking at my content. And I just want to go more in depth on that today. So yeah, here it is: consistency, your best friend. And let's talk about why it's so important. Well, kind of talking, piggybacking off of what I mentioned in the first video. The advice that I give on here only helps if you actually show up and you put in an effort to make that difference. Because if you're not going to the gym, then any advice I can give you on what kind of like what movements I think would be best or what kind of split I think would work best for you or whatever, based on your schedule and your lifting habits, what you enjoy doing at the gym, it's not going to matter because you're not doing it at a level of consistency where you're actually going to get something like some kind of like genuine noticeable change out of it, which is what you guys are gunning for, of course. Um, and also, just in general, like the toughest rewards are earned incrementally. So, like anything that's worthwhile usually takes a really long, or at least a reasonably long time to achieve through persistent effort and working hard and just consistency. Um, and I think the gym is a perfect example of that. You're not gonna go from super overweight to lean and shredded immediately. You usually have to cut off a lot of weight and kind of build that muscle up. Maybe even cut all that weight off and then bulk and then cut down. Which is what I did. But that takes a long time, and you have to be consistent. If you are not consistent, you're not gonna get there. It's just not gonna happen. Um, and again, without it, nothing else matters. I could sit here for 24 hours straight and talk to you about all of the bits of advice I picked up over the years of studying, training, all of this. It's hogwash if you don't actually show up, if you don't put the time in to build the plan and stick to it. Now, saying that, it is hard. Like if it wasn't hard, everybody would do it. Everybody would just be in great shape, right? Well, maybe this isn't the best picture to pick here. We got free Texas Roadhouse rolls, but that's besides the point. I only had one. Um, but really, I mean, motivation tends to be lost very quickly when visible results aren't rapid. So, like, even if you are staying consistent, it's been a couple weeks, but you're not really noticing anything yet, or you're not seeing the changes at a rate that you want to see them at. People usually start slipping there, and that's where most people fail. That's their sticking point. And this is where discipline comes into play, and but building that discipline requires a lot of mental fortitude. You have to say, hey, like, I know what I'm doing is backed by tons of lived experience and tons of science. I just need to keep going. Like these changes will happen. They just take time. Um, and really, I think that most people need to have a why because, to me, motivation is distinct from like what drives you. I think what drives you pushes you to keep going when your motivation is lost. So you're like, oh, I fucking hate the gym today. I don't want to. I don't want to go. I don't want to do this shit. I don't. I want to eat whatever I want. Like I really want to eat this, bro. Like, but you can't. Not if you want to. Not if you want to stay at the pace that you're at. These changes you want to see in that time frame. And I think that you need to figure out what that why is, and you need to remind yourself of that why every day. Say, no, this is why I do it. This is why we are going to get this done. And I think that that's going to give you a great chance to actually get where you want to be. Now that we've talked about why it's hard, and why it's important, let's talk about realistically, like how can you build consistency? Well, the first thing you need to do is develop a routine. I mean, consistency is best sustained when everything in your life is consistent. So I know it's not easy for everybody to do, but to the best of your ability, make your days as similar as possible. You know, wake up at the same time, go to work at the same time. Most people do that anyways, but like eat at the same time, try to work out at the same time. Like the more you can regulate your body, the easier it is to just fall naturally into the flow of stuff, and you don't even think about it. After a while, you're just going. And that's really powerful because then you're not gonna stop and think about, "Oh, I don't wanna go to the gym today," or, like, you're hanging out. The more you just hang out and chill out, especially for people that aren't as well trained and aren't as used to just going to the gym every day, you're gonna be like, "Ah, I can skip the gym today," you know? I've been sitting here for a while, and, I'm kinda relaxed now. One day's not gonna hurt me. But, that one day could turn into one day every week extra, or like then like you're like, oh, but then it can turn into a streak of days, and then you show up, but then you're like one of those guys shows up for a few days. Most people that shows up for a few days and or a week, then they don't show up for the next week, or they don't show up for a month or whatever. I see it all the time at the gym, and I'm like, no, that's not going to do anything for you. Not in terms of body composition changes. And my other piece of advice here is just don't think, just do. Now that sounds kind of like bad advice, honestly. You should think in a lot of cases, especially when it comes to like huge decisions and all that. But when it comes to this consistency and, you know, going to the gym and staying on a very, on a diet which is going to align with your goals, you can't think about it. The more you think about it, the more you're going to lose to your thoughts, because you're going to give yourself more of a chance to justify doing something that you shouldn't do. And your brain is your most powerful tool you have, and within your own faculties, to get stuff done, but it's also your biggest enemy. And so you have to be able to utilize it in the correct way, and become that the master of your mind. Don't let it control you. You have to control it, and you have to be, resilient to a lot of those thoughts that start to creep into your mind. You just have to shut them out and just go. Yeah, because it's backed by tons of psychological studies where they say that the dread of doing something is far worse than actually doing something, which is why procrastination is so rampant, because you feel you're like, oh my, I don't want to do this, but then you do it, and then like afterwards, you're like, that wasn't that bad. And the more you do that, the more you're going to build that consistency, and the less dread you're going to feel, because you're like, I've done this before, I've done this before, I've done this before. Like I know I can definitely do it. And you build those habits that you need to build. So wrap it up here today. Um, just I just want to say that you can do it. Right? I always say that I'm not special. Maybe in terms of my ability to build that discipline, I stand out, but like anybody can do it. It's not easy, of course, it's not easy, but like I'm not special in a way that like I can do something that other people just simply can't. You can do it. It's just hard. I made drastic changes to my body, but if I know that if I can do it, you can certainly do it. I never thought I'd be where I'm at today, but I stuck with it over years, and I'm still sticking with it. So I just want to say, I've been there, and don't beat yourself up if you slip a little bit. Like discipline, it comes with its building. Discipline comes with its faults, and you're gonna stumble. No one's a perfect disciplinarian. Like you're gonna have times, and you don't have to be incredibly strict. You can give yourself stuff, and you should, to keep your life full and rich and of experiences and all of that and stuff that you like doing. But when it's time to lock in and focus, and when you can give yourself a treat, or treat yourself to something else, whatever. Um, I also want to say that comparison is the thief of joy. With the rise of social media across all platforms, and across the world over the last decade and a half, 2 decades even, honestly. Um, but really over the past like half decade, where bodybuilding has become like a huge trend, especially people in my age bracket and my generation. Um, People are always comparing themselves, and a lot of those guys that you see that are really big on social media, not all of them, of course, not all of them, but a lot of them are on some kind of gear. They're enhanced. Um, don't compare yourselves to them. Do not. You don't have to be like them, and honestly, you probably shouldn't. If they're on gear, you should not be like them. It's not worth it at all. the health risks are terrible. Um, and you focus on your own journey. That's what I had to learn. You have to focus on your own journey, and you have to just it's the cliche where it's you versus you, but it's very, very true. You just have to focus on what's in front of you and what you can control, and you're going to get the job done if you do that. And you just shut out all the other noise. Finally, just to reiterate, you can build good habits through discipline. Um, the more discipline you can exert over yourself, in a reasonable fashion, of course, the better the more those good habits are going to come into your life, and the more natural they're going to feel as well, which is going to make it even easier to stick to those good habits and just become like a machine when it comes to doing stuff. You don't even think. Like I said, it's that thing where it's like don't think, just do. You don't even think about it. You're like, oh, well, yeah, I've been on this calorie deficit. I don't even think about it anymore. It's my regular diet I eat every day. You know, and I know when I can treat myself, but like my regular diet, I'm settled into. I'm good. So, and you can get that done through just sticking to discipline and practicing it and fighting those intrusive thoughts. You're not going to win every time, but the more you fight, the better you're going to get at it. Um, that's that's really all I wanted to talk about today. Make sure to leave any comments about any questions you have or any comments in general that you have for me. What other videos you want to see, any other topics, whatever. It doesn't have to be about lifting, but kind of the focus here. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and be sure to check out my Twitch for some gaming content, my Instagram for lifting content, gaming content, IRL content, whatever. That's like a variety of stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to click the subscribe button, like the video, and I'll see you in the next one.